Lowe's knows how to turn big plans into real results. Whether it's new appliances or a home refresh, get started with 12-month special financing on purchases of $299 or more with a MyLowe's Rewards credit card, January 15th through the 30th. So you can invest in your upgrade now and pay over time. Lowe's, we help, you save. Offer subject to credit approval and cannot be combined. Minimum monthly payment required. See store or Lowe's.com for details.
Welcome to No Question About That Daily. I'm Ed, today with Dominic. Welcome back. How's it going?
Yeah, good to be back. Good to get the second appearance, that tricky second appearance under my belt, Ed. So, yeah, excited to chat some United.
Very good. Everyone let me know how he does. Give him a rating. Sorry, no, I'm kidding. I get a lot of unsolicited feedback, which is always fun. And sometimes it's specific. Sometimes it's general. Like one I got yesterday was, I don't like your chatbot co-host. I was like, what am I supposed to do with that? Thank you very much. You also got the compliment of apparently looking like Harry Maguire.
That has been said before, yeah. It's either Harry Maguire or Harry Potter. So,
well, with the glasses on,
better.
You might get that a little bit.
Jurgen Klopp once said that to me, actually. He was interrupting my question at a press conference to tell me how much I look like Daniel Radcliffe is what he said, actually, rather than Harry Potter. But
all right.
Yeah, that was a nice viral moment to go semi-viral for Klopp taking the piss. But,
Jurgen Klopp called me Harry Potter. Wow, that should be your epitaph. So.
I don't know why it's not on my bio and everything, to be honest. Yeah, it should be.
Very good. All right, we're going to talk about United versus Southampton. What a contrasting games. This is from Liverpool away, Arsenal away, to really intense competitive games in which United had to do a fair bit of defending, but did it really well, especially against Arsenal. To the worst team in the league, just sack their manager and have one win all season, at least one league win. They beat Swansea at the weekend in the cup. So yeah, real change in contrast in what expectations, which Ruben Amorim was asked about a lot in his press conference today, and I guess tactical setup. So how do you take this one then? Like, how do we go from Arsenal away 120 minutes of intense cup football to being expected to smash the worst team in the league?
Well, this is the challenge, isn't it? This is what we've sort of been building up to, and what United fans have been crying out for the team to actually dominate someone, to look like they're the better team, and to actually be the better team, and to have a stress-free evening of Manchester United football. And when's the last time we have had one of those? This should be it. This literally should be the game that Amorim tweaks his system for a weaker opponent, for some more attacking football. It's all very well sitting deep and defending, and I enjoyed that as much as anyone against Arsenal, and the performance at Anfield, which had a bit more than that to it. But this is something different, and this is what United have just so struggled to do in a good few years now. It might seem like a boring game, like a non-event game, but United have to put some goals past the worst team in the league. It's just as simple as that for me.
Yeah. Well, it's not since, I guess, the Everton game that we've had a super comfortable, it felt easy, no stress.
And even that wasn't as simple on the XG and the chances. We didn't create a whole heap of stuff, and some of the goals were quite nice finishes. So you'd like to see a sort of, if you're getting really tactical, a plus more than 2.5 around the 3 XG mark, you'd hope.
No, I think so. And yeah, 3 XG is very high in terms of XG generally. And if United can create chances, that'd be great. We're actually not doing bad at creating chances under Amorim. It's certainly been very good at reducing the number of chances against us. Not always figured into the actual goals tally yet, but I think it will do over time. Cut out the stupid mistakes, which have been most of the goals actually conceded under Amorim. They're ones that you go, yeah, we shouldn't have conceded that one. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And then finished chances, which has obviously been a real problem. Very inefficient team finishing. Some of that down to the forwards, not entirely, but some of it. And then, yeah, as you mentioned, the tactical shake-up here, will he go with the double pivot of Manu and Ugarte, or one of them get a rest, given that Ugarte played like most of the 120 minutes. Manu a little bit less, but he's been managing his minutes. And then what does he do with the fullbacks, wing backs? Does someone a bit more attacking playing one of those roles? And really interesting. He said this before, but he said it again today. That it's much, much harder to coach the attacking side of things than the defensive side of things. And you can kind of almost see that, can't you, on the pitch where United are getting better defensively. And
as long as he doesn't go full Jose Mourinho and say, I don't coach attacking football, I only coach defensive shape.
Look, that's clearly not going to be true, is it? Because you look at his Sporting side and there's a lot of repeatable patterns in that side. I mean, they've gone off the rails a little bit since he left. But the amount of like Amorim goals that Sporting scored where they're overloading on one side of the pitch with one of the wide teams and the wing back to cut back for Guiqueres or others to finish. Enjoy, not quite as focused on the third man run as, say, Arne Slot, but had a few of those coming from midfield as well. But there were a lot of very similar goals at Sporting. We haven't seen much of that at United at all, I think. And so
United have to try and cut teams open from open play in the way that Sporting did. I mean, I didn't watch a whole heap of Sporting, and I think all these United fans who say they have watched the whole heap of Sporting might be lying, but I certainly watched that game where they demolished City, and that was just phenomenal creation of overloads, like you say, in those wide areas, and the way those penetrative passes cut through City, like teams don't do, got me really excited about what this Amorim team could do at United. And for multiple reasons, we haven't seen it so often, have we? I think occasionally we have, but even in those games when we've done it, there's been an implosion of some sort at the other end. There's been a set piece where there's been a sloppy goal. There's been a goalkeeping howler or something like that, which has undermined some of the good work that's been done in those games. Like the Forest at home game, I go back to it. I think United played really well and had a mad 5 or 10 minutes after half time, conceding 2 goals, and everyone forgets that the good work that was done. That just can't happen against Southampton. I'm fairly confident it won't, but you just don't know.
No, Southampton barely created anything either. So even on the break, and minus 32 XG at the moment. And sorry, minus 32 goal difference. It's probably even worse than that on the XG. But they don't create a lot, even in transition. They've got a squad full of players who are, how many of them will be plucked off when they go down? It won't be that many. I mean, who's going to go find another Premier League club? I mean, Tyler Dibling's there.
Tyler Dibling, yeah.
Really interesting one. I mean, his numbers don't look great, and I know it's really unfair to go, oh, look, he's not actually creating much because he's surrounded by really dreadful players. The interesting thing is just his ball carrying and dribbling. Dribbling. And you look at him and the eye test says, yeah, he's got something about him. I mean, much like me in watching Sporting, I don't watch Southampton every week, but I've seen a few of their games, like rando ones I've tuned into when I've got nothing better to do. So I think the eye test says he's a better player than his data looks right now. I'm sure there'll be a lot of interested parties. Taylor Harwood-Bellis at the back, former City player. I think he will get a move too. I do like, he's a big lad with a good touch and all of that. I mean, every City Academy graduate is coached to an inch of their life to be technically sound, aren't they?
Yeah.
And most of them go on
two double-barreled lads I like, actually. I like Harwood-Bellis and Walker Peters, actually.
Yeah, Walker Peters' career hasn't really taken off, has it? I mean, it felt like it was
England chat at one point, wasn't there?
It was.
And, yeah, when he came through at Spurs, when they had Kyle Walker and then Kyle Walker-Peters, which I always enjoyed. I thought Walker-Peters was he playing in that 9-0 when United had them 9-0 under Ollie in the COVID era?
Good question. I don't remember. Yeah. Is Kyle Walker-Peters Kyle Walker's son, one of the illegitimate ones or not?
Who knows? Who knows, literally?
I think could be anyone, couldn't it?
On a serious note, your question about tactics and how Amorim might adapt to this one, because we're clearly not going to see the two. Well, we don't see the two defensive-minded wing-backs and the double pivot, like you say. Of those 4 players, across the midfield, I think that 1 and maybe 2 more attacking options will be introduced. So it's probably going to be either Bruno drops deeper and one of Mainu or Ugarte sits out, like you say. and I think that's the most likely thing that will happen. And I think Dallo will be suspended, won't he? So
Yeah,
I think
that's right.
Ahmad has to come onto the right wing back position. That's what I would do. I'd bring Ahmad to that right wing back. He actually looked really good there. I know he probably is better in the 10 and that suits him more, but he hasn't put a foot wrong when he's played in that right wing back. So I'd do that, and I'd bring in, dare I say, Anthony into the front three. I don't know who else it can be.
I'd be tempted to go the other way round. It seems
Potentially.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's been online chatter about that, but he hasn't tried that yet. You just figure that Anthony's ball carrying, which is pretty good, right, into open space. He just doesn't have the pace to beat anyone, and his defensive nous, which again is very good. You'd think that would be a sound option for one of the wingback slots. It's just he threw such a strop when he was asked to do it for 5 minutes in one game that one is reluctant to try again. I mean, in the front three, Anthony barely creates anything. I mean, mind you, he's got a better scoring and assisting record than Jack Grealish over the same period.
Jack Grealish is a fraud. What can we say?
What can we say? He's got nice thighs and good haircut.
He costs more than Anthony as well, which is crazy.
What a lad!
Anthony just doesn't produce anything, I think, and that is just a problem when he's been asked to play in a system where the front three shoulder the burden for goals and assists so much, and that's one reason why. I don't know if Daniel said it on the podcast in the past, but Bruno being moved deeper it's not something that I think fits too well, because I think Bruno, you want playing your really risky passes and creating things right at the sharp end, and that front three is the perfect place for that, really. Him being asked to do the doggy work in midfield, okay, he might not be asked to do so much of it against Southampton. I still don't think it really suits. It might be a game to bring Eriksen back in, because United are going to have a lot of the ball, and Eriksen remains the best or maybe second best passer at the club.
Yeah. No, it's not a bad shout. I'm with you on the Bruno analysis. I want him as close to goal as possible. And it's less about the riskiness of the passes. I mean, in those big games, in the league game at Arsenal, he played in the pivot, and within the first 5 minutes, he'd given the ball away a couple of times in deep areas. And that's just the challenge. He can certainly be more conservative with the passing if you ask him to. I mean, he can do that. It's not like he can't switch it over. It's just you want those chance creating passes. Again, like more than 200 chances created in 2024.
Nobody better.
Yeah, just literally nobody better at creating chances. We're not an efficient finishing side, unfortunately. Put him in a very good side, and you'd see his assist rate really spike, I'm sure. So yeah, I just want him as close to goal as possible. He's done very well in that kind of left-sided attacking 10. I don't like him when he's asked to play super wide. I want him as narrow as possible, so he's near the striker. It worked against Liverpool because he just overloaded the side against Trent, and Trent has never been able to be disciplined enough to get back into the right positions, and they just took advantage of it, and it was comical almost.
I mean, even Callum Hudson-Odoi was showing Trent a clean set of heels for Forest, wasn't he?
Well, quite
another embarrassment for him, really. So yeah, I guess the finishing thing you talk about prompts the question of who starts up front, and whether Joshua Zirkzee actually gets a gig. I know bringing Eriksen and Zirkzee back into the team people might question my sanity and have people recalling the Newcastle horror show, which I was there for, and I'm going to be there on Thursday for this one as well. But it's just a different thing against Southampton. It's not that hard running, uber aggressive Newcastle side, is it?
Right.
It's a very weak, sort of soft underbelly team in Southampton.
Yeah, Josh Lace is an interesting one because this is no original idea, of course, but he's neither a 9 or a 10, and in this system, it's like, what exactly do we want him to be? Against Arsenal, when he came on, I thought he did great at doing the dirty work. Better than Højlund, actually, because I think I've said it before, he's got a big ass, right? He's difficult to get around, and he's got a good touch, whether with the chest or the foot, and he's able to control the ball and keep it, and it sticks to him really well. Not that you'd want him to really play that role. And so against Forest, we're not going to need to do that. There doesn't need to be a desperate outball quite as much. Don't need to relieve the pressure. We would probably like someone to run in behind. Sorry, not against Forest. It's Southampton.
Exactly.
We're probably not going to.
You don't want to play Forest anytime soon.
No, not right now. Yeah, at least. So, is it the fit? But he deserves a chance. That's the thing. On Højlund, my frustration with him is he doesn't use his attributes well. The team doesn't use his attributes well. In that, the ball that he should be looking to get all the time is the one that's played in between the fullback and the central defender into the channel, left or right channel, and he tends towards the left, which I think means he's become a little bit predictable. You see it in his touch map, actually. And those balls where he can use his pace and spin off the defender, I think that's the one that they should be looking when Amorim gets time to spend with him on the coaching side of things. That is the one where he'll be really dangerous because he is an efficient finisher. He just gets very, very few touches and very, very few shots off. Like I said before, he's just over one averaging shot per game. And even the best finishers aren't going to score many goals on one shot per game. If you look at the best strikers throughout Europe, they're getting over 3. So that's what he needs. He needs to average over 3 shots per game, and he's going to score quite a few goals if he does that. But in order to do that, he needs to find the space and needs to do less wrestling.
Yeah, he finds himself sort of entangled with the opposition defender far too much. Although I enjoy how much he relishes that battle, and I think that endears him to United fans that he seems to really like the battle of it. It doesn't work for the team, and I don't think it's, like you say, it's not entirely a Højlund problem that he isn't getting these chances. There's loads of other reasons why he isn't. But there's 2 big areas I think he can improve on. I think his decision making. When he gets the ball, he sometimes has so many options to lay the ball off, but it's just pulling the shirt of William Saliba or somebody instead, or not looking around him to lay the ball off. And the second one, which is a real concern, is his heading. He just isn't that good in the air for a big bloke. He doesn't score any headers. I don't understand that. Yeah, as someone who's small and rubbish at heading the ball, I can't talk, but Rasmus Højlund is 6 foot whatever and should be nodding 5 headed goals per season, say.
Yeah, I think that's a fair shout. Andy Cole said earlier this season, actually, when he was commenting on Højlund, said he does too much fighting with the opposition defenders. And it's fine in some games, but it's just too much. He should be looking to make those runs. He just needs to study some of the best strikers around for how they find space. And the heading one's a good shout. United don't get a lot of good quality crosses in either, which might not help. But yes, I'm trying to think. Has he scored a headed goal for United? I can't remember one off the top of my head. No pun.
No.
Intended.
Did he score one from about 1 yard out or something?
Yeah, maybe.
I can't remember a proper bullet header of the type Andy Cole or Ruben Amorim might have scored.
It's no original thought here, but the 100 million or so that United spent on Xerxes and Højlund would have been probably better spent on a really, really good forward. It would have been better use of money. They almost doubled down. They went for the young striker and they thought, well, okay, we haven't got a lot of money to spend. And Josh Xerxes got a clause and maybe they liked him. I don't know. I mean, who knows what the scouting reports actually said on him. I mean, he did well at Bologna. Of course, Thiago
You don't
Motta's
get a good young
but...
striker cheap, though, do you? That's the problem. And there is the United tax that we all know about that adds 10, 20 million onto any price tag. That definitely happened with Højlund. He was never a 65, 70 million pound footballer when he arrived. I mean, and he had one season at Atalanta, and before that he'd been in real sort of
Salzburg,
not lower leagues, but in the doldrums in terms of the elite. So there was a real punt, and United are still waiting for it to come in. So
pay off, sure. He's not providing value. I mean, you hope that what has happened to Ahmad, where now his 20 plus 20 fee looks all right, doesn't it? But for a long time,
people don't talk about it, do they?
Yeah. It looked like complete waste of money for 3 years when he was sitting on the bench at Rangers, not getting any game time. And so I don't think anyone, if anyone predicted that his growth path would have happened, well, good on them. But I don't think it was obvious for a very long time when he felt physically like he wouldn't be able to compete. Now, he doesn't really look any bigger, but his centre of gravity is so good and he just seems to be able to bounce off players that maybe he has done a lot of work in the gym. Højlund, we're waiting. waiting. I feel like the raw ingredients are there, but it doesn't always translate into something. Then again, there's time. Like, there's been so much talk about Victor Gyökeres, but he's 27 now, has never played in a top league, was released by Brighton, went to Swansea, did all right. Not great. Went to Coventry. Coventry had that one great season in the Championship. Well, it nearly got promoted. They got a big fee for him, 20 million or so euros from Sporting. Even that felt like a punt at the time, and he's done brilliant. But I don't think you could have predicted that. It's not obvious.
United have spent money on older strikers in the post-Ferguson wilderness years, time after time after time. Every single time, pretty much without fail, it hasn't worked out. I mean, one season of Zlatan and less than half a season of Ronaldo.
The team was rubbish. Zlatan scored loads of goals. The team was rubbish. And then we had Cavani.
Cavani was okay, but we got him too late. We got him 3 or 4 years too late. So
we got him way too late. I tell you what, though, changing the subject, I would love to go to La Bombonera and watch him and Ander Herrera. What an experience that would be. I unfortunately missed a long story. I think I've told this anecdote before. I was supposed to go to a game cancelled in one of my many trips to Buenos Aires, so I've not yet seen a game in Argentina.
My wife went to Argentina a couple of years ago, and the only thing I requested was a Messi shirt from Buenos Aires, and that's what she came back with.
It.
So
absolutely beautiful city. Fantastic place. Buenos Aires is amazing.
Unlike Southampton.
Pretty dull Southampton. My aunt lives in Southampton.
It's fine.
There you go. That's the only, So, I've totally lost track of myself. Older strikers. Yes, like Ronaldo, Cavani. Who else have we had in the wilderness
Igalo,
years? Falcao. Yeah. None of them really worked out, sadly.
But I think what you say is the free hit of the rest of this season. And although there's talk of relegation and United are in crisis every other week and blah, 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 it is a bit of a free hit. And the likes of Højlund, Xerxes not going to get sold this month, despite the chat. It's not going to be him. It's going to be Rashford and Casemiro if it's going to be anybody.
Yeah.
So the likes of Xerxes, Højlund, Garnacho, I think this is a big game for Garnacho. And it's still a big few months and weeks for Garnacho. I believe he can play in this system. I believe his return of goals and assists over the past couple of years is no fluke, and he's a good footballer that just needs to be coached by Amorim the way that he wants him, right? And he can have good games against teams like Southampton and win games for United because he's done it before. There's no reason why that's going to stop in my eyes.
Yeah, the coaching part with him is interesting. Of course, he's been pulled up a few times, turning up late for training under Ten Hag. Apparently turning his back on Amorim when getting some instructions against Victoria Pleasant.
Cardinal sin,
yeah. Hopefully he is coachable. Hopefully he really wants it. He feels like a player who does have a high opinion of himself. Certainly his entourage appears to think that too. He's got all the tools in the locker. His goals and assists return and his underlying numbers, are genuinely very, very, very good for an under 20-year-old. I know the internet doesn't always recognize this with younger players these days, but pick me another under 20 player in Europe who has numbers like that. Not Lamine Yamal because he's a freak. It's very, very rare. And so when there's talk about him being sold, it has to be a massive number for United to even get anywhere interested in that. And I would almost any number I would say no to, because United need to build off high potential young players for these next few years. We are not getting Champions League ready forwards without, and also fixing the wage structure and the budget. You can't do the two things at the same time, because in order to get a player who is going to have the 25% reduction in wages because we're not in the Champions League, you have to pay them even more. Right, so you can't have both the finished product from a Champions League side and fix the budget. So high potential young players are the way for United to go. It's what Ineos have done at Nice to reasonable effect. It took a while. It's not what they've done at Lausanne, although if you follow some of the youth watchers, there's some interesting moves there where they've paid some large money for some young players. So maybe the multi-club model is coming into effect. Who knows? But this
It'd be
is the
interesting to
route
see
we
if that
made.
does get utilised. But
Should
you don't
do.
get anywhere by selling your best players. You don't, or your high potential players who are 20, 21 years old. And really, the 50 million or whatever's been talked about, Napoli links or Napoli 50 million offer is the chat this week. But United shouldn't even be considering it. This isn't Football Manager. They're going to sell Garnacho for 50 million and replace him with who?
You can't get a better player for that number. I mean,
No, it doesn't make sense.
You can't do it. Yeah. All right. So what are we going to see? We're going to see Southampton. Juric, also the new Southampton manager, also plays straight at the back. I mean, it'll translate to a 5, won't it? And they'll sit deep and see what they can get out of Tyler Dibbling and Cameron Archer and whoever's in the team up front.
If United score in the first 20 minutes, it will be a straightforward evening.
Yeah.
If, as I suspect, it'll be a 0-0 after half an hour or even 0-0 at half time, then it'll be edgy. And the crowd at Old Trafford is edgy at the moment. It's ready to turn at any point. United may concede a goal for a set piece. They may do something daft. We know that they're capable of doing it. And then it'll turn into something potentially toxic. And the last couple of games, positivity will be forgotten.
Yeah.
I really hope that doesn't happen, but that's what can happen at Old Trafford at the moment. They need an early boost.
Can do, yeah. I don't like the turn in the atmosphere at Old Trafford. It needs to be one of those games where the crowd is behind the team. Of course, it goes both ways. I get that. But it's very different from 20 years ago. I don't want to sound like an old man shouting at clouds making that kind of comment. But yeah, the atmosphere is different. It is on the edge, and it's years of underachievement and changing the makeup of the fans and all of that kind of stuff. But we need the crowd on United's side. We need some positivity. We need to make progression from these last 2 results, which feel great, but it's a completely different side. Early goal, comfortable win, a few goals for the players who need it. That would be perfect for everyone. Southampton, desperate, change the manager. I always find it funny when teams come up with a manager who's taken them up and then they fire them halfway through the season. Like, well, what did you expect, right? So
yeah, you've got one of the weakest squads in the league and one of the smallest budgets, and your manager's actually trying to play quite nice passing, attacking football, which will probably see you instantly back up. But yeah, you sack him and then you try and throw the baby out of the bathwater and bring in something new. Is so silly. I have one request of Big Sir Jim ahead of this one. If he could sort out the problems at turnstiles at Old Trafford before the game, that would be a big help, because I don't understand the extra queues at the bin. Match goers will understand these gripes.
It cuts in the security budget, isn't it? Fewer staff, different agency.
I'm charging people more, and people are missing the start of games. Like, I went in to see United already 1-0 down against Newcastle, which was nice. So yeah, if that could get solved, that's on a long list of gripes with Big Sir Jim and Ineos at the moment.
Yeah. Well, my request of Big Sir Jim yesterday was that he buy Carrington for £250 million. Perfectly okay. Premier League is
Pocket
okay.
money.
Chelsea are selling hotels to themselves, so buy a training ground or whatever. Maybe the Cliff. Like, buy the Cliff. You know?
And maybe let the women change in something other than a porter cabin. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, it's a very nice porter cabin, apparently. But yes,
I've seen it. It's all right. It is all right. But yeah, let's maybe invest a few quid in the women's team, because it really doesn't take that much to run the women's team properly. Why it's not a priority, I just don't understand.
I've been on this great before. It's £5 and a bit million is the budget for the women's team. £1 million invested into that team would put them as a leading budget in the WSL. There is a interior soft salary cap, but it doesn't take much to invest in that and for it to be to capture the potential growth in that market. Because if Jim only understands the numbers, then he should think about it that way. It's short-termist both in terms of the football. It's the wrong thing to do, and it's short-termist in terms of the growth of the club as well. I cannot understand the decision-making there at all. I think it's really bad. Although a new goalkeeper signed this week, so there you go. There is...
Hey, we'll just give them Anthony's wages for a couple of months and then everyone's happy.
All right. On that note, Anthony's sticking one in the top bins to score the 8th goal against Southampton would be very nice. Dominic, thank you very much.
Cheers, Ed.
Listeners, viewers, wherever you are, have a great game. We'll see you back tomorrow. Bye now.